Hello, Shiners. It's your boy, Cy Emery, coming to you once again. Hey, I'm coming from Denny's. I'm on location. While I promised you that I was going to come and do some readings for you, but I need you to get fired up a little bit though. Hey, how about that? I love that music. Hey, Release the Light is a positive platform dedicated to encouraging you to shine, to be your best self, to spread all of your positive energy upon the earth. On today's episode of Release the Light, we're going to discuss be quick to forgive. Be quick to forgive. But as always, before I dive into that, let me dive into this. Thank all my new subscribers. My goodness, man, we're growing each and every day. Thank you for your subscriptions. And you will never have to worry about, on this channel, me asking you for a penny. This channel is not set up for that. This is an encouragement channel. And we want to reach as many people as we possibly can. So thank you for your subscription. And if this is the first time you've listened in to Release the Light, hey, smash that subscribe button and become a shiner. I would love to have you as part of our tribe. Now, be quick to forgive. In my reading today from my new novel, Blurred Pains, Joseph Graham, if you listen to my last video, is now at the start of the summer of 1971. As I said in the last video, the prophecy, the promise, and secrets. So, in this first chapter of the new book, Blurred Pains, let's find out where Joseph is going, and let's tie in Be Quick to Forgive. I'm going to try to read as fast as I can. I'm rocking two laptops here, so my attention will be diverted. Chapter 1 in Blurred Pains, Premonitions. Chapter 1, Premonitions. The walls held the summer's heat. Sweat rolled. We don't want any more music. We're done with that. The walls held the summer heat. Sweat rolled from my forehead in the tiny cinder block house. I rocked, swayed, and raced to keep up with him. His broad shoulders looked slimmer and more agile as he soared among the clouds with speed and grace. "Come on, Jay, you slowpoke," Robert joked as his feet touched the ground at the Frosty Cone ice cream shop on the west side of town. "Let's get some fuel for the tank." "What do you want?" "It's my treat," he offered. "Okay, Daddy Big Bucks, I'll take a strawberry milkshake," I said. "Nah, I'm not," and I got to get all of this to work together. There we go. "Nah, I'm not Daddy Big Bucks. I got paid on Saturday and I had to wait until today to get my check cashed," said Robert. Robert Mason had been my good friend since grammar school. He and I were what I called oddballs, light-skinned black males with freckles and reddish-brown hair. We were the only two in our grade. "Can I help you?" the lady at the window interrupted. "One strawberry milkshake and an orange soda," Robert replied. "That's it, just rub it in," I pouted. He turned with squinted brow. "Rub what in?" he asked. Everyone's getting paid, making bread except me," I complained. He pulled me aside. "Why do you do that?" he asked with concern. "Do what?" "Complain like that when you know it's going to be okay, it's going to work out." "That's easy for you to say. Your pockets are full." "Well, I predict it won't be long before your pockets are full too," he said. Then he gave me that smile, that twinkle-eyed, rosy-cheeked smile that said, "Come on, come on, give me one back. Come on." He waited. I couldn't resist. My lips parted, exposing my upper row. Holding his signature smile, he nodded his approval. "One strawberry milkshake and an orange soda," announced the lady at the window. Robert turned, grabbed both, and passed me mine, placing my lips on the tip of the straw to savor the creamy delight. The soft rays of morning pulled at my blinds, causing me to find refuge on the other side of my pillow. Mama's voice in the distance drew my blinds. I cleared my thoughts and welcomed a new day. After 2 weeks of summer vacation from school, a diet of cool soft drinks had drained my pockets. Mr. Willie's daughter had returned home from college to resume her desk job at the funeral home, answering the phone. That left me unemployed. I needed to find a job like yesterday. But there was one problem. I was only 13. You had to be 14 to get a paycheck job stocking shelves at a department store or bagging groceries. I wouldn't turn 14 until the next month. While searching for employment, all the managers said, "Come back when you're 14 and we'll see what we can do." They were just being nice. All the summer jobs would have been filled by then, and summer would be half over. I needed money now. A lot of kids were running errands and delivering packages for the gangsters and the drug dealers. I didn't want to go back to hustling on the streets. I had hustled on Franklin Streets, the main street in Reservoir City, since I was 9 or 10 years old. I had done everything from sweeping floors to selling fruit, from shining shoes to gambling with adults. I knew how to survive, thanks to my old crew, the FCC, which stood for Franklin Court Crew. Franklin Court was the name of the apartments across the street from where I lived. Most of the kids in the crew lived in those apartments. They showed me the ropes of hustling. But the streets had changed, and so had I. We both were wiser, smarter. I could keep up, but my heart didn't crave it anymore. Marred by nightmares of barely escaping gunfire, a scorpion sting, a race riot, and seconds away from drowning. I was done with that life. But what was I to do? I needed money. After finishing my chores, I walked up the dirt path outside my back door toward Ray's. Ray's was the largest corner store in my hood. It was one of the local hangouts for the neighborhood kids on Friday and Saturday nights. It sported a nice sitting area and 2 pinball machines. That was the arcade of the day, 2 pinball machines. Woo. As I turned the corner to enter, I ran into an old foe coming out. "Well, if it ain't Casper," said Roscoe with 2 of his crew, the Hula Poolas. They were my arch rivals when I ran with FCC. Casper was one of the mean names the older kids called me when they were bullying me. "I thought the zoo was in Manopa," I replied, busting on Roscoe and his crew. I continued, "When did they let you animals out of juvie?" "Why should that matter to you?" said Roscoe, the leader of the pack. "Just wanted to know if I should report some runaway strays," I busted again. "You still got that smart mouth, don't you?" Roscoe growled. "Come on, Roscoe, let's mess him up," Leon begged. "Yeah, let's get him," said Jamal. "I hear you don't got no crew no more," said Roscoe with a sarcastic grin. "Don't need one. I'll beat all 3 of you by myself, one at a time." My knuckles tightened. The 3 pointed at me and laughed. My heart was in my throat. I was running the biggest bluff ever. All three were bigger and stronger than the runts that went into juvie over a year ago. I could hold my own against them. I could hold off the first two, but the third would circle me and give me a shot to the head, dropping me. I can't let them circle me. You all right? You always did have heart. But, said Roscoe, I thought, okay, here we go. I widened my stance. He continued, this time I come in peace. I have a message for you, said Roscoe. From whom? I asked. From Benny Lee, he answered. My heart slowed to a crawl. My fists opened. I cooled down a bit, but my expression didn't waver. You couldn't show weakness in the hood. Benny Lee Rivers had been my best friend for the past 5 years. We ran together in the FCC. He was caught breaking into cars on the east side of town last summer while I was out of town. He was sent to juvenile detention center in Rising Tide, a town 10 miles south of Reservoir City. What's the message? I asked. Benny did me a solid in juvie. Some guys was about to jump me, but Benny had my back. He said, we from the same hood. We gotta stick together in here. He saved my butt. He wanted me to tell you he okay and to keep playing basketball. For the first time in a standoff, I blinked. I had to. My anger caused me to tear slightly because the scene lost its color. The three of them turned gray, barely visible. Plus, after hearing those words, I had to fight to keep it together. It was as if Benny was speaking directly to me. He had ended several of our conversations from juvie with those very same words. This was the first news from Benny in almost a year. I lost contact with him when we got a new telephone number, and they didn't allow calls in to the offender. There were so many questions I wanted to ask Roscoe. How does he look? Is he taller, heavier, or thin? Is his hair long or short? Did he pass his math class last year? He had trouble with math. Does he still like to play football on the weekends? I wanted to ask all of those and more, but I couldn't. I had to keep a straight face. But Roscoe knew his message brought comfort. It was like a warm blanket over my heart. I gave him a slight nod, followed by thanks. Sure, man, no problem, he replied. Then the door at Ray's opened. Is everything all right, Joseph? Asked Mr. Ray, the white store owner, in his deep southern dialect. He saw the encounter through the large storefront window. Everything's okay, Mr. Ray, I answered. See you around, Jay, said Roscoe, walking away, his crew giving a slight nod and fell in behind him. See you, Roscoe. Mr. Ray went back inside. I followed him. I followed behind him. As his wide white mountain of a man turned to go behind the counter, a younger black version came toward me. JayGee, how's it hanging, brother? Ox greeted, giving me the soul brother handshake. Otis the Ox Walters also ran with me with the disbanded FCC. I used to check his homework on our walk to school. He quit school last year to take care of his ailing grandmother, who was diagnosed with cancer. Now he worked for Silk Jenkins, the neighborhood gangster who ran the Midtown underworld. Wow, that's pretty heavy. Poor Ox had to quit school at the age of 14 to take care of his grandmother. Wow, I'll read more for you later. This is your boy Cy Emery saying goodbye for now and God bless.